Hey everyone, my name is Jennifer Woods. I watched Voicemails for Isabelle on Netflix, and I'm going to take a few minutes to tell you about it. So, Voicemails for Isabelle stars Zoe Deutsch, daughter of actress Leah Thompson, who you might remember from 80s movies such as Back to the Future, Some Kind of Wonderful, and Howard the Duck. And the movie also stars Nick Robinson. It's a romantic comedy drama, or a dramedy, if you will, about a young woman named Jill who has a close bond with her younger sister Isabelle, also known as Izzy. Her sister has cystic fibrosis, but idiots like the boys they go to school with just call it cancer. Isabelle eventually dies. It has to happen for this movie to have a plot. And Jill is lost without her, so she leaves voicemails for her sister, catching her up on her life, never stopping to think that maybe the number has been given to some other person by now. As a new work number, perhaps? Enter what's-his-name? Wes. Wes is a young man who is not above listening in on some private conversations between Jill and her sister, until he finds out the sister is in fact dead, because it apparently never occurred to him why a young woman would be leaving voicemails on a phone line for her sister if it's no longer her sister's phone number. How close can they be, right? But then Wes decides that the only logical thing to do is to stalk Jill, under the guise of traveling to San Francisco for work. After all, it must be so easy to figure out someone's full name and locate that person based solely on info given out during a voice message. I'm sure people are stupid enough to leave a trail of breadcrumbs on their dead sister's old line all the time. I'm probably the only one who would stop to worry that maybe by now the number had been given out to, I don't know, say Ted Bundy, or hell, to 90% of the college frat population. Either one of those possibilities is equally terrifying, but Jill doesn't seem to have worried about that. So Wes doesn't tell Jill at first that their accidental first meeting was not so accidental after all. I'm not sure if it really matters, though. I mean, if you care enough to put that much effort into tracking down someone you've never met before, and there's any sort of chemistry between the two of you that survives your first face-to-face meeting, then there's got to be at least a little bit of fate involved. You can't tell me she would have gone on a date with him if he'd looked and acted like Mr. Bean or Jack Nicholson's character at the end of The Shining, for example, so the gods of love and romance had to kind of know what they were doing here. It wasn't completely random. Another thing, Jill has dozens and dozens of voicemails left over from her sister. How does her phone have that much storage? Well, let's just ignore the questions I have and say what we're all thinking. It's a fun way to spend an hour and a half at least. I'm just tired of these romances that use some ridiculous meet-cute premise, such as a woman reunites with her childhood sweetheart while baking cookies for the winter carnival, or a man falls in love with the sister of the man who murdered his sister, or a man ends up with a dead sister's phone number, or what have you. By the way, of course Jill is an aspiring chef.